Good morning, Blue Lulus. How you doing? When do you think the Germans knew? Like, really knew how deep they were in it? Because, of course, we know that the rise of the Bavarian Broski was not overnight. It took a decade, just about, for him to sneak in there, change the minds of so many people that all of the cruelty that was forced upon millions of people became an inevitability, right? But how long did it take for them to realize that that's where they were? Was it already too late? Because that's how it feels. Right now, we are living in an American Holocaust. Right now. People have been asking, oh my gosh, well, what's happening to the women? What's happening to the children? Where are they putting these people? They are holding them in camps with good concentration every single day, even here in the state of Colorado. A friend of a friend of mine, her father was detained. Even though he's a legal immigrant, he has the right to be here. He has papers, he has court hearings, he follows all the proper procedures. He was scooped up at a work site, and the daughter was able to go and visit him, and she said on her way to go see her dad, there were rows and rows of cages, people behind bars, and they were small children. She said that as she walked by, they were screaming and pleading for her to help them. They were grabbing onto her clothing as she walked by, begging them for help. They were wearing dirty clothes. You could clearly tell that they hadn't bathed in forever. It smelled awful in there. She said that it was horrific, truly apocalyptic in nature. And this is happening here in America right this very minute. Alligator Alcatraz. That's where they are putting men, women, children, mothers, brothers, sisters, preachers, workers in the swamp and making them sleep in tents that are infested with bugs and snakes and alligators, and one storm can take them out in one fell swoop. And we're just letting this slide. We want to talk about hearings and budgets and tariffs. Like, no, dude. This is the American Holocaust. Masked men with no warrants, no identification, in unmarked vehicles are walking up to people and taking them off the street with absolutely no oversight, no due process. They're being transported via private vehicles to who knows where. It's being reported that some of these immigrants, we don't know how many of them actually are or are not immigrants, are being put on cargo planes. People are watching these cargo planes going over on the radar, and they go out into the middle of the ocean, they turn their radar off, and they come back. Apparently, these planes are capable of opening the cargo hold while they're in flight without making everybody, not be able to breathe, and that's what could potentially be happening. Because there were 30 human beings that washed up on a beach yesterday that were shackled together in the same way that our immigration folks are shackling non-violent offenders, people who walked to this country on foot to give themselves and their family a better life. Yeah, that's what they're doing to them. And then coincidentally, 30 people just arrived on a beach, no longer with us. How long do you think it took? When do you think that people back in Germany understood that we were at a point of no return? Because it's really looking like that's where we are now. Because who would investigate it? Pam Bondi? Yeah, right. Kash Patel? No, that little 22-year-old who's running counterterrorism. Yeah, those would be the people who would be looking at this. And they're not going to. All they would have to do is say that the Joker ordered all of these things to happen. He has complete criminal immunity thanks to the Supreme Court, and so as long as they said that he did it, we're not part of the international courts. And so if they were to make a ruling against us, we could just overrule it in the House and Senate, which is absolutely what would happen. And so I've just come to the conclusion that we are in the middle of it. It's not the beginning of it. I think it's been happening for a long time, but this is where we are. And we have a lot of comparisons between now and Germany. And the thing that always gets me the most is that it wasn't the Germans that fixed it. They did not overcome on their own. It took other people and massive amounts of destruction for things to get better. And history doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. Hakeem Jeffries came out when he's decided not to take the vote for peaches seriously, and he said that step one was to make sure that they brought the people to Congress. And of course, he didn't include Poison Ivy this week. She didn't show up. And step two was to debate the War Powers Act on the House and make sure that people were able to get the full information and vote whether or not the Joker could continue to have these massive amounts of power. So both of those things happened this week, and Poison Ivy didn't show up, and the Senate voted to expand presidential war powers. So what was step three? Oh yeah, it was to continue to demand that they show up and answer for this. It's not going to happen. They don't have to, and they won't. And they know that it's going to be wildly unpopular, which is why they are erecting no-scale fences all over DC. I had a dream a couple weeks ago that a bird, a mechanical one, of course, flew into the Statue of Liberty, and that it was very intense, kind of apocalyptic dream. And here we are, the week of 4th of July, and it feels like something is coming. It's like that little tingle that you have in your chest when there's a big thunderstorm coming your way. It feels like that. I struggle whether or not I should post things like this because I don't want to spread despair. I don't want to make people panic, but I value the truth. And I just wonder, how long did it take for the people back then to realize it? Did they have this same amount of hyper-normalization? Did they keep their heads in the sand? Did they pretend? How long did they pretend that this wasn't happening and allowed all of these horrible atrocities to continue the same way that we are right now? And who's going to save us? I know the resounding narrative is nobody. It has to be us, but how?